we shall share with you, the YouTube channel, which we shall share with you. And in this channel, you'll be able to review the lesson as we've been looking at. So once, especially those who join in late, if you join in late, please, you let us move. When we finish, you come and then you try to review the videos on that given channel. So please try as much as you can to work on that as we proceed. So I, especially those who come in late, and if you want a lot of pardon, just wait for the lesson to end, go to your YouTube channel, and then you review the video. Then you will understand whatever we've been looking at. Okay. So, and in case you have any question, please you send it in a chat. The chat is open, so you can try to send a message there, and then we move on. Okay. All right, as our usual norm is, we always begin with a word of prayer to thank God for the life, and also to ask God to give us wisdom as we proceed with our lesson. Okay, who is giving us a prayer today? Who has never given us a prayer? I want someone who has never given us a prayer. Never. Isaiah Opio. Isaiah. Opoi, is it Opoi or Opio?
Okay, let us Opoi.
Opoi, okay, good.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for keeping us up today, and we thank you for blessing us with this live learning. May you give us the knowledge and understanding so that we may understand and go back with something, Lord. Come, Lord, give us your knowledge, your wisdom, and give the teacher the knowledge to explain to us. We pray this believing in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Isaiah, for the prayer. And we pray that God gives us the wisdom to understand everything that we are going to look at. Okay, as I said, the WhatsApp links, the Google Classroom, and then the YouTube, shall send through the chat as we proceed with the lesson. All right, so we are good to go. I'm sure here, yeah. Please make sure you have a book near you, you have a calculator near you, you have a pen near you. Remember, it is a math class, okay? I don't want you to sit like we are doing storytelling. Eh? I want you to have something with you so that when I ask something, you quickly work out, and then you give us a response, okay? So I want you to have that in mind. Have your book near you, have your pen, calculator where need be near you, because it's a math class, okay? Good. Oh, Naziwa. Is it Naziwa? You have something to say, Naziwa? Naziwa trainer. You have something?
Master, yes. Actually, of the WhatsApp thing. Do we use a number? Is it a number, your number, or I'm not getting well?
No, we are going to send you a link. When you tap on that link, it takes you directly to the WhatsApp group.
Okay,
of all members of this class, of all members of Senior 1 class. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So I said, if you have any question, please let's utilize our chat, or you raise up the hand, and then we will be good to go. All right. Now, for a review, last time we were looking at fractions, right? We were trying to explore fractions. We did a lot of work with as far as fractions are concerned. We did the calculations on fractions. Now, today I want us to pick up from combining decimals. as well with the fractions, okay? How do we work with between decimals and then the fractions? It is one other thing that we always need to pay attention to. So today, we are going to start with converting of fractions into decimals. Converting of fractions into decimals and vice versa. Vice versa means we shall also convert decimals, okay? We shall also convert decimals into the fractions. This is our objective for today, okay? We need to learn several methods that we are given so that we do these conversions here, okay? That if you have a number in a fraction form, how do we take it to a decimal form? If we have a number in a decimal form, how do we take it into a fraction form? So this is our work for today. Now we are going to start with converting from fractions into the decimals. Now, I know we recall this, I think, way back in our primary. There are different methods we used. Now, today I'm going to look at two methods, and I know there are other methods that we know about, okay? Now, we are starting with, I said we are starting with converting from the fractions, okay, into decimals, okay? Into decimals. This is what we are going to start with. And I am going to teach you two methods of doing this. Two methods. Either some of us are recalling, others we already know the methods. So, but we are going to learn two methods of doing this. Now, the first method is the easiest. The first method I'm going to use is the easiest. So, let me have someone to read for us what we see on the screen. Someone to read for us what is here on the screen. Okay, Bigumira. Bigumira, read for us.
So to convert a fraction to a decimal, divide the numerator by the denominator. If required, you can use a calculator to do this. This will give us our answer as a decimal.
Very good. Okay. So the first method that we have is to try to do, remember we now know what numerators and denominators are, so we're not going to go back because that is what we looked at in the last class. So we are saying, if you want to change a fraction into your decimal, what you are going to first do, you can do the direct division, okay? Take an example here. Take an example. Let's look at this example. If we have, okay, if we have 4 out of 5, and we need to turn it into a decimal, this is a fraction. We can, I hope we remember this part of the long division as well. This is what we learned in our primary. This is what we looked at in our primary. I'm not going to look at that one there, but you know it by now. Now, here what you do, go to your calculator directly and you put in 4 divided by the 5. Those of you who have already pressed your calculators, what have you already got? Melissa? Melissa? Okay. Chirabo? Oh,
0.8.
okay, let's write our answers in the chat now. Let's write our answers in the chat. Write your answer in the chat. When you get when you do that division, what do you get? Here people say they have 0.8. Okay, this is what we have in our answer when you do that direct. Now that is the first thing, that first method that we are looking at, that when you are doing your division, okay, just that is one of the way that if you want to convert to the decimal, this is now a decimal. Okay, this one is now a decimal. This one here is a decimal. Okay, while this one is a fraction. This is the quickest way that we can do that. Okay, so when you do that, you come up with that given answer. Still, when you get like the other one also, if you get 75 and then you divide it by 100, still, when you do that in your direct calculation, in your calculator, you will come up with 0.75. Now, that is the simplest thing that you can do. So once you are given a challenge, that you please convert for us this one into a decimal, this fraction into a decimal. This is one of the methods that we carry on. Okay, this is the first one. Now, how can we convert this one here? 3. So this one will be equivalent to 3 divided by the 6. Okay, and when you get 3 divided by the 6, 3 out of 6, what do you get? 3 out of 6, what's the answer? In fraction form, people are getting 0.5. People are getting 0.5. Okay. I think most of us, that's what we are getting. Please, you type your answer in the chat. You type your answer in the chat. You may not raise up the hand. Type your answer in the chat. Chagu Jude says 0.5. Michaela says 0.5. Evans, Jackie, same answer. No else. Timothy, and so on. So literally, this is what you will come up with. So it's easy, simple. Okay. So, what of this one here in decimals? 5 out of 8. This will be equivalent to 5 divided by 8. What's the answer here? We are here. We are the next one here. What answer shall we get? Okay. Now I now see that people have calculators. That is very good. People have calculators. Good. This is 0.625. This is what I'm seeing from people. Why is it always only Jackie, Michaela, Manchester, Melissa? They're the only one signing in the answers. I don't know if I've not seen any answer from Felicia, Anyango. I've not seen your answer. Werashan. I've not seen any answer from you. Chloe, good. So you see, it is very simple. It is so easy when you are using your calculator. So this is our method number 1. Okay, this is our method 1. Please don't worry, these notes I'm going to send them and then you will be able to write them. This is our method 1. Okay, now who has a question about method 1? Who has a question about method 1? Any question about method 1? Jotham?
No, sir. I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay. It's okay. So that is it. That's what we have about our method 1. Now, let's continue and look at method 2. If you don't have a calculator, now we are in a case whereby we don't have a calculator, you don't have anything to calculate with. What do we do in such a case? Okay, now for us to be able to carry on this for method, we are now in method 2. Okay, we are now in method 2. That's where we are. Now, when we are working on method 2, we have 3 different steps. Okay, step 1. Let me give an example. Remember, our first was we're converting. Okay, let's give our method 1. Sorry, step 1. In step 1, we say if we are converting a fraction into a decimal, the first step you do is to find a number you can multiply by the bottom fraction. The bottom fraction is the denominator. Okay? The denominator. To make it either 10 or 100 or 1,000 or anyone following with the zeros. So it can be 10,000, it can be 1 million, okay? And so on and so forth. So what we are saying, you find that we are going to work out an example, okay? That is the first thing. Then, I said, for example, if you have 3 out of 6, we are saying we find a number that we can multiply by this 6 here to get either a 10, or if not a 10, 100 or 1,000 and so on. That is the first thing we are looking at. That's what we first do. Okay. Then after that, what do you do? Multiply both the top and the bottom by that number. For example, if you had the 3 out of 5 in decimals, and you said, which number would you multiply by 5 to either get 10, okay, or you'll get 100 or 1,000, okay? You'll get that number. For example, if the number is 2, okay? If the number is 2 here, to get 10, you get 2. So you multiply this by 2. Then you also multiply this one by 2. That is the second, that's the second step that we do. Then the third one, we then write just the top number. For example, here we shall get 6 out of what? 6 out of the 10. Okay, we shall get the 6 out of the 10. Then we multiply, we get the top number, and then we try to move the zeros. Let's try to work out an example. Maybe we can get it clearer. Okay, let's work out an example. Take an example. If we have this, we are converting 3 out of 4 to decimals. Step 1, get which number do you multiply by 4 to either get 10 or 100 or 1,000? Is there any number when you multiply by 4 you get 10? I think it's not there. Okay, we don't have that number. But is there any number, because the maximum when you come to 10 times 2 is 8, times 3 you cross again to another, so meaning you cannot get 10. So we go to 100. Okay, so when we come to the 100, what do we do? What number do you multiply by? Do you multiply by 4 to get 100? Let's write out that number. Angela. Angela? Yes, Angela? Angela, your hand is up. Please give us the answer. Oh, Michael. Let's deal with Michael.
25.
It is 25. Okay? It is 25. So when we have our 4 times 25, 4 times 25, we get 100. So meaning this 25 is the number we are going to multiply both up and down. So we say this will be equivalent to 3 out of 4 times 25 times 25. The 25, you multiply it both up and down. What is 3 times 25? What is 3 times 25? Write your answer, write your answer, write your, it is 75. From Martha, Blessings. Blessings also says 75. Any other? Anyone else to confirm that answer? Jackie, good. 25 also. 75. So this is 75 out of 100. Do you see now? Okay. Now, but remember, we want a what? We want a decimal. So what do you do? The last step, in the last step, we said you write the numerator 75. Okay. You write it as 75. Now, where do we get the decimals? In the decimals, we move. You see, if you have 2 zeros, meaning you're going to move 2 times. You're going to move your decimal point 2 times. If you have 1, it means you move it once. So you start from here. We're imaging our decimal is here. Our decimal point is here. We are moving it 2 times. So meaning it is going to move 1 and then 2. So the decimal point is going to be here, and then the 0 is going to be this other side. So this will be equivalent to 0.75. Okay, this is now we are showing the working on this. I repeat, step number 1, multiply the 4 by the what? The 25. Why are we doing 25? Because that one can give us the hundreds. Okay, then you multiply the 25 both up and down. After doing that, you write the 75, which is the numerator. Are we together? Write the 75, which is the numerator. Then you move your decimal point. If it was 3, if it was 3 here, you'd move it 3 times. Okay. If therefore you write move the decimal point 4 times from this extreme end. Don't move it from this way. No, we move it from this other extreme side. Okay. I think that is one example. Let's look at the second example. Let's look at the second example. If we say convert this one, 3 out of 16 to a decimal. So ask yourself, which number do you multiply by 16 to either get 10? If you don't get 10, 100. If it's not 100, it is 1,000. If it's not 1,000, it is 10,000, and so on and so forth. Can we get that number? What is that number? The result should be 1 and 0 and a 0. 1 and zeros. 1 and zeros. I'm waiting for that number. Big Gumbira says 7. 7 times 16 is what? Does it give you? I think 7 times 16, I think you don't get 1,000 now. 1 and zeros. People are calculating, people are calculating, people are calculating. Please. Hannah, those who have questions, Hannah? Okay.
Teacher,
Yes.
I had a question from the method too. Like, how do I get that number? Like the one that I use for dividing both sides. There is one that I use for multiplying both sides.
Yes, that number you have to try to find it out from your calculations. This is now, it's like now mental work. Remember mental work where they would ask you 2 times 2, then you don't look anywhere, but you get the answer. Now, this is now the mental work that we are now doing. If you recall that part in our primary, okay? Now, this is now mental work, mental kind of work that we need to look at now. Hey, people are getting answers. People are getting answers. The answer here I am seeing is 625. And okay, that is from Jotham. Hannah has also got the answer. Hey, Hannah has also got the answer. Arinda has also finally got the answer. 625. So when you get 625 times 16, what do you get? Someone give us, it is 10,000. You get 10. We get 10,000. Okay, meaning we are there now. Okay, so that is the very first step that you're doing. So what do you do now? So we have our 625. When you multiply it by 16, you get 10,000. Okay. So what do you do now thereafter? After that, we multiply it both at the top and at the bottom. So this is what we shall be getting. Okay. So we shall get 3 times, when you get 3 times 625, we get 1,875. When you get 16 times 625, you get 10, we get 10,000. I hope we are seeing this step here. So when you get that answer there, just multiply it by both the numerator and the denominator. Okay, good. Then, so what? Once you have your answer here, remember here we now have 1,875 out of what? Out of 10,000. So I said finally what we do, you write your numerator 1,875. Write it like that. Now we start getting our point, decimal point where it is. Count how many zeros you have. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So meaning you're going to move 4 steps from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Meaning it is here with the 0. So your final answer will be 0.1875. Now when you use your calculator directly, and you say 3 divided by 16, I think you should be able to get this same answer. You should be able to get the same answer. Okay? We should be able to get the same answer when you put it in your calculator. But why are we doing all this? This is to show that we know how certain answers are coming about. You don't just say, it is this, but how have you got it? I've just used the calculator. If you don't have a calculator, you can still work without it. Okay, good. All right. We proceed now. Once we have our answer like that, now there is another challenge that we have here. Finally, I showed you I'm looking at the 2 methods. Okay, now there comes a moment when you have what we call the recurring. Let me first answer someone. Chirabo, you have a question? Your hand has been up for quite a while.
Yeah. Yes, teacher, I have a question.
Mm.
What if I want to use this method which we have been using, but I'm actually confused how are the others getting the 625, the 15, how are they getting it? Because I'm still confused.
Now we are trying to do the bit of let me look at this. If for example you have the 16, remember our aim is to get result with 0, 1 and 0. That is the final answer that we have. Like for example, you try 10. Like there is no number we can multiply by this to get 10. Then we move to 100. Is there any number that you can multiply by this 16 and you get 100? I told you now we are doing the mental work. I don't know if you remember that we are doing this is now our mental work that we are doing. Is there any number that you're multiplying by this 16 to get 100? Then if that one is not there, we go to 1,000. Is there any number you're multiplying by 16 to get 1,000? Okay. Now we always look at the maximum number. Take an example. We are always looking at the other maximum number that we are looking at. So when you try to say that you say 1,000, take an example, you have 1,000. Is there any number you multiply by 16 to get 1,000? No. Okay, you keep on moving on, but you look at high values, the high figures. Like if I have 5, maybe 5 is quite is 5. Maybe use 5. Okay, 5. Which number do I multiply by 5 to get 10? I know it is 2. I don't have to continue from there. Okay, if I come to 4, which number do I multiply by 4? Is there any number I multiply by 4 to get 10? No. How about 100? Yes, there is 25. So meaning this 25 becomes our point that we look at. Okay. So I thought this is now the major part of it that we are trying to use, or we are trying to work out with. Okay. Oh. So you try out that mental work. I told you with math, we are not just trying to either gamble or something, but you must try out as much as you can to try it. But you, as long as you know that you are aiming at getting what? 1 with zeros, 1 with zeros. Okay, that is your aim that you're trying to look at. Now, let's look at this. I told you there is, let's look at this. Now, when you put this in your calculator, if you, if you were to use the other method that we are using, which number do you multiply by 3 to get 1 and zeros? 10, you don't get. 10 is not. Okay. When you get tried by 9, no. Now, there comes cases whereby we do not have numbers that we can multiply to get those numbers. Like, for example, 3. It is impossible. You'll never get any number that you multiply by 3 and you get the result as 1 and zeros. The number is not there. I don't know if someone has found any number like that. Okay. Has anyone found out the number? That when you multiply by 3, you get 1 and zeros. Yes? Anyone who has got? No one has got it. You're all saying, no, it is not there. Okay. Now, what if it is not there? What do we do? Now, if it is not there, it means that your result is going to be a recurring. We are going to get values that are to proceed. So what do? We do an approximation. Okay. We get an approximation. So in the approximation, therefore, we say that we know that there is no number where I multiply and then you get that. So what do? We calculate an approximate decimal. Okay. An approximate this, that it is close to, you see that when you're calculating, it is tending towards 1,000, it is tending towards 100, but it's not reaching 100. Most cases, it is by 1, by 1, by 1, by 1. So in so doing, we get a value, which value, when you multiply by it, we get something which tends to, we call it an approximate what? Decimal. Okay. So we choose 1. So like, for example, here, we can take on 333. So when you get 333 times 3, you come to 999. Okay. This one is close to what? It is close to 1,000. This is what we are looking at. So we get that number whereby we just need by 1 to get to that number that we need. So that is when we use the approximate value to do that. So when you get that approximate value, Chigongo Angel. Yes, Angel. Angel?
You have not understood anything.
Angel? Yes, Angel. Yes, Angel.
Yeah. I'm telling you, for me, I've not understood anything because for me, I've just connected right now.
If you've just connected.
For me, I've just connected right now. Now I'm not understanding anything.
If you've just connected,
Yes.
Number 1, you are late. You need some canes, isn't it? You are late for class, okay? But anyway, that's a joke. Now, what you're going to do, as I said, those who I said earlier on, that those who have just joined, who joined late, anyone who joins late, please, we may not go back, but we have a YouTube channel where we are going to share with you, and then you go and review right from the start. So don't worry about that, okay? We are going to upload this on the YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to view all the work that you have been looking at. Those who have just joined, you're late, okay? Actually, we are almost ending the lesson. So anyway, but we are going to upload this on the YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to review the work, okay? So we said we are getting what we call the approximate value, and the approximate value is going to help us to come up with our decimal. So from here, what you do, you multiply the 333 both at the top and at the bottom. So this is time of 3, 3, 3. This is also time of 3, 3, 3. Why are we using 3, 3, 3? Because it is the one when you multiply by 3, you approximately tend to values that are 1 and what? And 0. That's why we are choosing that. Are we together? So when you have your answer as this, if you have 3, 3, 3 out of 9, 9, 9, okay? So we said once you have this, the next step you do, write your numerator. So your numerator separate, then you count the numbers here. Okay, these ones we are taking them as zeros. That's how we are taking them. But of course, in actual sense, they are 9, 9. Okay, so you move. This is now 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then you put a decimal point and then the 0. So you have 0.333. You know these ones are recurring. These ones are they are recurring, but we go with the ones that we can be able to write. But we all know that they are recurring what? Decimals. They are trying to keep on continuing. So that's what we do have at this time. Okay. So we shall have 0.3333, and so as people have written there. Okay. Okay. Please, as I still request that once we have an issue, let's, if you're Abu Baker, who is Abu? Is it Abuni Miriam? Abuni Miriam.
Yes, teacher.
I was trying to ask that what is your just this one like of 3, 3, 3, 3 times, eh? But if you put only like 2 of them?
Remember, we are getting it from here. Why we are writing 3 times, we are getting it from here. Huh? When you get 3 times 33, okay, yes, you can also get the same thing, I think. You get 99, which is tending towards what? 100. It is fine. If you write, remember it is recurring, so it is fine. You can write it as, but you can write it, even if you write 1, remember it is a recurring, you'll get 0.3. It is fine because they are recurring.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Any other? Elvin? Elvin.
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes, please, Elvin.
Teacher, in primary, my teacher said that when you're writing a recurring decimal, at least you put a sign like 3 dots to show that it's recurring, or you put 2 dots up to show that it's recurring. But here, someone can think it's just plain.
Thank you. Now, from here, what we are looking at, it's a good question. What you were told, it's very, very correct. But remember, here we have 1 out of what? 1 out of 3. And we are saying which value do you multiply by 3 to get something which tends to? If someone chooses to take 3, if someone says, okay, you know what? 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, meaning it is 1, this is 3 out of what? Out of 9. And it will be able to, we shall come to 0.3. Now, this is being derived from this. If someone says, if I tell you to convert to decimals, okay, and you say, I am taking 3, okay, I'm taking 3 as my value, which is multiplying. And then I see your final answer as 0.33333. This is wrong. Why? Because you have decided to use this what? 1, 3. But if you also say 1 out of 3, I can say I'm taking 33. Okay, times 33 times 33. This will be 33 out of 99. Here, your answer will be approximately 0.33. Don't again add another 3 because this 99 here is not the one justifying the 33. Okay, I think that is clear. We are now converting this one depending on the value, that the approximate value that you have taken. If you've taken your approximate value as 333, your answer should not again come to 0.3. This is something different. Okay. Yes, we know it is a recurring decimal, that we all know, but the value that you choose that is going to do the multiplication is the one dictating how many threes you're writing here. I hope you get this, Alvin, especially Alvin. Alvin, have you got it? Alvin, sorry.
Yes.
Have you got it?
Not really.
You are not following, eh?
Yes, I'm not.
You're not following. Okay, you'll go back to the video, then you'll follow. But I've done the explanation here. I think you're not following there. Okay, so let's look at something here. What if it's a mixed fraction? I think we are coming to that as well. What if it's a mixed fraction? Okay, we are also going to move to that as well. Now, let's first handle this as well. Now, I think that is what we can also look at. Now, we have two types of decimals. I think we need to categorize this. We need to categorize the types of decimals. Now, from the working that we have done, we have found out that there are basically two types of decimals that we have looked at. Okay. We have two types of decimals that we have looked at. Jonathan, I'm going to give you a chance. Let's first listen to this, then I'm going to give you a chance as I want us to cover something, then we're about to close. Jotham, then I think Chloe as well. I'm also going to give you a chance here, and then Isaiah as well. So now with the decimals, we have two types. If you have fractions, you see the conversions that we have done. Fractions like, for example, these ones here can be converted into decimals and they end, okay? They end or they terminate, okay? Meaning, if you convert this one in decimals, you only get 0.6. If you convert this a half, you get 0.5. If you convert 3 out of 8, you get only this. Now, the ones that do not continue, we are calling them the what? We call them the terminating decimals. So terminating decimals, they do not continue. Like if it is 0.6, we have 0.6 as our answer. If the answer is 0.3758, it will remain that. It will not continue. We call those ones the terminating what? Decimals. Okay. Then we also have the other ones that continue. For example, when you get 2 out of 3 and you convert, you get 0.66666 continuing. Okay. When you get this 2 out of 5, you get 1.33 and so on. So we call these ones the recurring decimals. Okay. We call these ones recurring decimals. Okay. So when you have those as recurring decimals, that is how we call them. We have terminating decimals, okay? The terminating decimals, and then we have the recurring what? Decimals. So these are the two types of decimals that we do have and we are going to deal with, okay? Now, finally, how do we now get these fractions, these terminating decimals? And again, we take them back into fractions. I told you there are two, the methods are not the same, but we work them out two ways, okay? So what happens in such a case? When you have a terminating decimal, take an example, we have 0.75. And by the way, we don't read this as 75, we read it as 0.75. Those of you who, some of you end up reading it as 75 to 0.75, okay? So if you have 0.75 and you're converting this into a fraction, what do? Step one, we get this 0.75 and we put it out of what? We put it out of 1, okay? You first put it out of 1. Now, after putting it out of 1, meaning you're first you're now creating the fraction part of it. Okay, you're now creating the fraction part of it. Then after that, we multiply both the top and the bottom by 100. Someone will ask, why 100? Why not 10? Why are we taking 100 for this? It's because we have, after decimal places, we have what? We have 2 digits. Okay, so if you have 2 digits after the decimal place, we take 100. Okay, if you have 3 digits, you take 1000. If you have 1 digit, you take what? You multiply by 10. That's the principle we have. So here we multiply it by what? We multiply it by 100 because there are 2 digits after the what? After the decimal point. Okay. So therefore, we shall get 0 point. We shall have I don't know whether people will be seeing this. So we shall have 0.75 out of 1 times 100 times 100. So when you get 0.75 and you multiply it by 100, okay, you'll be able to get what? 75 out of 100. Now, challenges come here. When you have your answer as 75 out of 100, please reduce them down. Okay, please reduce this value here into its simplest form. I don't know whether we are getting that. We reduce it into its simplest form. Okay, someone can say, if you have 75 out of 100, you can say, if you're smart enough, you can say by 25, 3, by 25, 4. But another person will say 75 out of 100 by 5, 15, by 5, 20. Again, you're used by 5, 3. Again, by 5, you get what? You get 4. Either way, you will get the same thing. I hope we are trying to get this. Okay, so we shall come to this. But my point of emphasis is how we are coming to it. Please, let's try as much as we can to try to understand how we are coming to it. So you reduce your answer until you come to your final answer as 3 out of the 4. Now, finally, our time is fast spent. We have, I think, 10 minutes, and I have to answer some of your questions before we close. This is our final one. So we have, our rule is step 1, we put this out of 1. So we say 0.625 out of 1. That's our first step. Second step, we multiply here by what? Here we have, after the decimal point, there are 3 values. So meaning we are multiplying by 1000. So we shall say this time was 1000 and also this time was 1000. So this will be equivalent to, when you multiply 0.625 by 1000, what do you get? We'll get 625 out of 1000. Okay. Now, please, challenges come in reduction. Please try to reduce to the lowest form possible. If you leave your answer like this, it is wrong. Yeah? If you leave your answer like this, it is wrong. Reduce it to its lowest form. You can start, say, by 5, this, by 5, until you get what? The lowest form of that value. So those of you who have reduced, what have you got? Those of you who have reduced this value, what have you got? Write your answer, write your answer, write your answer. Write your answer. Those of you who are reducing, reduce your answer, reduce your answer. Hey, only Chirabo has reduced the answer. What about the rest? They're still reducing, yeah? Okay, Melissa, you're going back to decimal point. No, we are putting it in fraction form. We are not dividing. Please, we are turning this one into a fraction. Brenda, Glorious. Hey. This is 5 out of 8. 5 out of the 8. Any other? Any other? I don't know. Chloe got 1 out of 6. Chloe got 1 out of 6. Please check your reduction. Hey. Other people are getting one. Even John has 1 out of 6. John Akshas has 1 out of 6. But most people are having 5 out of 8. 5 out of 8. Okay. So literally members, let's try as much as this is how we do it. Now, someone might ask, what happens if you have this? Now, this is even more simpler. If you have 2.35 and you want to put it into fraction form, what do? Step 1. Now, when you're working with this, first ignore this. This, you see, this 2 here is a whole number. This 2 is a whole number. Okay, this 2 is a what? A whole number. So you put it aside and you remain with 0. What? You remain with 0.35. So you first convert that one there. I said, put aside the 2 because it is a whole number. Okay, our fraction is expected to be a whole number. So when you put it aside, we are going to now get, we do now our normal conversion, get 0.35 out of 1. These ones are 2 values before the decimal point. So meaning we are multiplying by 100 times 100. Okay. And then from here, we are going to get 35 out of 100. Okay. 35 out of 100. So what you do, you reduce by 5 is 7. By 5, you get 25. We get 20. By 5, we get 20. Okay. So literally, this is what we have. So then you bring back your whole number at the end of it, or bring your whole number now. You are expecting, you are now going to get 2 whole numbers. Then with this 7 out of what? Out of the 20. That is what you're going to get. Okay. So that is how you're going to carry on our conversions. Now let me answer some questions at this note. Let me answer some of your questions on this note. Let me first check in the chat. What if the denominator is 10? Chloe was asking at some point, what if the denominator is 10? Huh? Like 3 out of 10? If it is out of 10, it means it is even already done. We've already done, since it is already in a form of in the form that we need, 10, 100, and so on. We just write the 3, then you move your decimal point by 1, meaning it is 1 here. Then you put that. So meaning we're going to get 0. What? 0. It is actually more easier if you have 10, 1,000, and so on. It's very easy. Okay. Who else? I think these ones are done. Let me get to the chats. Let me get to the chat. Let me get your hands. I want to handle one by one. Rusty. Yes, Rusty.
Excuse me, teacher. I would like to, what if it's 1 out of 9?
What if it is 1 out of 9?
Yes. Do we do like the one we did, like one out of 3?
Yes, we are doing the same. We are doing the same thing. Get a number when you multiply by 9. You tend towards the 1,000, tend towards a number with 1 and zeros. Do you have that?
Yes.
So once you get that number, you do the same multiplication. Do the same thing. I told you when it is recurring, you will use an approximate number. When it is not recurring, we use the exact number. But this one, I think it will also be recurring. Is it recurring?
I'm going to see.
Oh, okay, you're going to. All right. Ronald. Ronald? Yes, Ronald? Ronald? Okay, Ronald is not there. Noeline? Yes, Noeline?
Excuse me, teacher.
Hmm.
Like, I wanted to ask this part where you said 0.35 over 1, then you multiply times 100 on both parts.
Yes.
Yeah, like in primary, they told us like you after this decimal point, you count 1, 2. Like if there are 2 digits after the decimal point, that means 100. So is it right even though I don't try this step and I leave it out and I just got 3 over 10?
You go to direct it what?
Like if I leave
from
that,
here.
yeah,
You leave this step and you write what?
And I just write 35 over 100.
35 over 100. Now, in mathematics, it's important to show how you have come to a certain part. I know it is correct. We are not saying it is correct. But if we are marking, we are asking, how did you come to this step here? Someone might think you just copied from someone. Okay. So to be a bit more clear, you write it that I've said 0 point this time is this, and I've also done this to come to this. You're right. This one, you're very right. But you're going to miss, you know, in math, we give method mark, we give bonus marks, and then we give the answer marks. So here you may, if this is the answer, you get the answer mark, and you end up either getting a bonus mark or a method mark. No, is that clear?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Okay, another John anxious. John. John?
Yes, teacher.
John, your hand is up.
Yes. 0.35 over 1. You had two 100s, but where did you put that one?
Where did I put this one?
No, I mean 0.35 over 1.
Yes.
Times 100.
Then
also times 100 there.
Yes.
Then where did you put 100?
This one times this one. 0.35 times 100 gives us 35.
Yes.
Then 1 times 100 gives us 100.
Okay, there I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Melody. Melody?
Excuse me, teacher. On the number that was recurring, whereby you multiplied each number by 333. I think the answer is
Pardon? You think?
I think the answer is wrong because you can also multiply the number by, you can say 3 times 3, then you get 9. It's just you add 1 and it's equal to 10.
But this is what I explained. First, hold on, Melody. I explained this clearly. I said from the start, we know that this is a recurring decimal, okay? And what is recurring is the 3. Are we together? If someone says 1 out of 3 and using this method here, and you tell me I'm going to multiply this by 3 times 3, what are you going to get here? 3 out of what? Out of 9. Now 3 out of 9 using this method, you'll get 0.3, meaning you're writing the 3 and then the point, this is moving once. So you'll get this one. I said this one is fine. Remember, it is a recurring decimal. So another person is going to say, no, I don't want to use 3. I'm going to use 33. So it will be 3 times 33, meaning this person is going to get times 33, which is going to get 33 out of 99. This person is going to get 0.33, but the point is the 3 is the main issue. The 3 must be there because it is recurring. If someone wants to add the 10 threes, meaning is going to multiply by 99 about 10 times. That one will get 10 threes. If you want 5 threes, meaning you're going to multiply this 999 5 times. I don't know if you're getting that.
Yeah, I thought that like if it's 1 out of 5 and you can multiply.
We are working with 1 out of 3. Let's leave 1 out of 5 because it won't work. We are with 1 out of 3.
Well, yeah, but I thought it's the least number that you, the first number that you get that is either 10 or 100. And the number, let's say, has 10 and 100. And you have to only use 10 because it's the lowest.
But then we also say, okay, it is a recurring. It is a recurring decimal. Okay. If someone says 0.3 recurring, okay, meaning this one is continuous. If someone says 0.3333333 whatever, here we know that the 3 is what? The 3 is recurring. But we'll ask you, how did you come to this 0.3? And how did you also, when you put this 1 out of 3 in your calculator, what do you get? When you put it in your calculator, what do you get? Are you putting it in your calculator?
Yes.
What answer do you get there? Do you get just 0.3?
No.
You get 3 continuous.
Yes.
Yes, that is the point we are putting across. That it depends on what some, but the point is the 3 is there. The 3 which is recurring is there as well. That's what we are looking at here.
Okay.
Okay, members, our time is up. I think we can stop here for now. Now I'm going to post these notes here, and it is also we're also going to put these videos here for you to be able to watch, and then you review through to see where you missed, and then you are able to do that. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I don't know if Mr. Otto has a word for us. Mr. Otto?
Jones.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, Mr. Jones. Yeah, thank you so much. I've been following the lesson quietly.